It's Alive 3, Island of the Alive makes all the sense in the world to me. If we must rid the world of the mutant baby threat, it's for the best that we Island of Misfit toys them. After a disappointing second film in 1978, let's see if they pull out all the stops to go out with a bang in this 1987 third film. It does still have Larry Cohen on board as writer and director, and in true Larry fashion, it was shot back-to-back with something else. Originally, Cohen wanted to do a remake of House of Wax for Warner Brothers, but instead Warner felt that he was perfect to do something direct-to-video. Cohen was on board as long as he could do both It's Alive 3 and Return to Salem's Lot one after the other. He also had a good idea for an It's Alive 3, as it dives into what the mutant babies would be like years later as adults. It's gonna be a shot-for-shot remake of The Hills Have Eyes, isn't it? Hell, I would greenlight this too, based on the sheer fact that it stars Michael Moriarty, Karen Black, and Garrett Graham, all three of whom feel like they should have been part of this series from the very beginning. These three can steal any movie you put them in. No wonder Warner said to hell with it and gave the movie a limited theatrical release instead of just dumping it on video. But will it still have some TV procedural cop dialogue?
There's a girl giving birth in my fucking cab!
Oh, shit. 6 weeks on the force and I'm getting into this.
Go on!
Close, I'll also accept 80s cop movie dialogue. Here's something else that ties into the others. The girl giving birth in the cab is actress Jill Gadsby, Larry Cohen's daughter. She was also Cindy in It Lives Again. So I'm just gonna flat out say that this is the same character. The asshole cab driver, though, that's new.
I should have locked the fucking doors when I saw her!
Well, that guy's only getting 1 star on the app. I'm gonna tell everyone that this is the Frasier reboot, which is going the gritty route and remaking the birth in the taxi cab episode. You can still tell this is the same universe as the other movies. Whenever anyone comes in contact with the mutant baby, they instantly and wildly open fire, and yet that still gets themselves killed. Personally, I'd like to see how Harvey Keitel, the bad lieutenant, would handle this case. My guess is significantly more heroin without even opening the case file. So get James Dixon back in here as the cop. He's changed since '78. He grew a mustache and got a slightly different toupee. And that's the end of that sequence that was later used in the Dirty Harry movie The Deadpool as a reel of movies shot by the Liam Neeson character. I can dig it. That just means in the Dirty Harry continuity, Liam Neeson directed It's Alive 3. Let's just wait for the courts to decide what to do with the babies. They were right to get attorney Garrett Graham after he successfully banished the doll people to an island. Michael Moriarty is Stephen Jarvis, fighting for his child to live.
Let's not ever mistake them for human beings.
They're human beings. My child's a human being, you son of a bitch!
You say that, but it's been the famous last words for many fathers in this series. Your Honor, bring in the next witness. I call to the stand Baby Oswald Cobblepot. And God bless these actors for playing it so straight with these baby sounds over them.
Can you identify this child as your own?
Yes, it's my child.
Nice. You're next, Garrett Graham.
How can a man sitting halfway across the courtroom make an identification of something inside a cage barely visible to him?
Well, already you can tell this one's going to emphasize absurd comedy a little more. It is the natural progression of the series, where the first one is the most serious, but still has some laughs in it. The second was about half the tone of the first and half comedy, while this one might as well have them fighting for custody against the Scoleri brothers. It does mention Eugene, though, with Graham referencing the Scott baby trying to attack. It doesn't say anything about Eugene being dead, so I guess he lived out his life smarter than Frank. As for Steven, I don't know if he's smart, since he says the only way they'll win is if the baby doesn't attack his hand if he puts it in. But Moriarty is so damn sincere that I'm like, give it a try. I'm liking the effects here too. They got Dan Fry doing effects on the film, and this is cue the Winged Serpent era Cohen, so there's a lot more stop motion animation with the babies. It's a good mixture of camp and Moriarty showing tears like this is Marriage Story. John Ryan was good at that too, but long story short, only 13 minutes in, and this is way better than It Lives Again. I've not seen a single piece of terrible ADR work, but meanwhile, at the old Happy Hollow at the Illinois State Fair, I swear I've thrown up on that double Ferris wheel before. Here Steven meets up with his estranged wife Ellen, played by Karen Black. It touches on him being shunned by the community, like Frank in the first, but in this case Steven is an actor who isn't getting any jobs because of the controversy with the baby, and his wife basically wants to live in hiding without anyone knowing she's the baby's mom. But she still breaks down when wanting to forget, yet the subtle pieces of humor don't break the tone. I like that this drama is happening with a stand-up comedian in the background. Things will work out because mere seconds later, Steven meets Sally, Lorene Landon from Maniac Cop.
How about a little, adult companionship, huh?
Yes, they're gonna do it in the haunted house. Hell, why not? My wife isn't coming back anytime soon. Hello? What's this? What a twist. How many guys has she won stuffed animals for, then led them back to her apartment? This serial killer is weird. He's already coming with some baggage, though. If you're gonna love me, you've also gotta love my cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller son, and not the one Garrett played. I'm not sure there will be a second date, however.
You know, you should tell people who you are before you put your hands on them. I don't want your dirty, filthy money either. Just get out of here.
Well, okay, that saved me $100, I guess. Let's take a break before we head back to court to ask the judge, wait, isn't there an island in this?
No, come on over. I got air hockey.
Bob, we're rolling.
Oh. Hey, Bob here for Quiznos. Have you tried Quiznos mesquite chicken with bacon sub? And it all comes toasted the way only Quiznos can. I'm telling you, when my molars grow in,
We're back, people, and they finally decided what to do with the mutant babies.
If I may ask, where exactly do you plan to put these things where they won't harm anybody?
Once again, I feel it would be cheaper to just put them in a hospital somewhere or a zoo. In all three movies, they're consistent with the baby's POV, when even now I'm still thinking, did this switch over into 3D all of a sudden? I knew it. Give it time, and rich people will come and hunt the mutants. That's right, big baby hunters. I like that they just dumped the crates of babies here and left. But the brochure told us they'd have a nice carriage to overlook the ocean like it's a Junior Corona beer commercial. These poor bastards couldn't afford to take their vacation at Jurassic Park, and it didn't go well when they tried hunting iced tea, so Baby Island will do. Actually, the real reason they're here is because they're from the pharmaceutical industry, wanting to wipe out all traces of mutant side effects before they release their new drug. You're all lucky you weren't sued due to the events of the other films. And just repackage ibuprofen or something, or put out another flavor of Z-Quil, or a drug where the side effect isn't Garfunkel hair. There's no need for the mutant baby hunt, where you were probably gonna die on the island somehow anyway. What was he doing on that waterfall, let alone having a baby attack him? The blurry vision of the babies does come in handy. It gives the editor a chance to just seamlessly reuse footage of one of the death scenes from the first. I always wanted to see a cross between Skull Island and Baby Geniuses 2 Super Babies. Now let's get out of here. We're gonna try our luck on the Dinosaur Island. Thank God the helicopter pilot is safe. Seatbelts, seatbelts. There's no baby seat here. And if you're wondering if Lloyd makes it back from the first one, he's here in spirit, making sure the baby doesn't get off the island.
And this has been What If It Exploded, hosted by me, Lloyd.
But back in the States, we saw Larry Cohen's pool in the second one. Now we get to see the inside of his house. That'll be the perfect place for Steven's party. It's good that they don't just do the Frank character again, where Steven seemingly doesn't want to make money off of this, but is still getting hounded with offers for book rights and TV rights to make a seedy drama about him and his wife. That goes along with the media obsession from the first. Hell, people even won his autograph. I love when he finally does crack, though, and goes around telling mutant baby jokes.
Do you know, baby Jarvis went to the dentist the other day, and he had his fangs capped.
Okay, sir, you've been hitting the formula a little too much. We're gonna have to cut you off and put you down for a nap. Eventually he gives in and writes a book, but no clue why they used a headshot for Dick Cavett on the cover. It doesn't make Ellen happy either because it didn't mention Trilogy of Terror once. That's why she doesn't want to be around the baby. She doesn't want to have to give him toys. I guess the book didn't do well because he's now working at a shoe store.
They're all the same. She can try another style. Fine.
But this is the style I want.
Ugh, maybe I'm glad my child was sent off to an island. Though a familiar face comes by.
He lives in there too.
I guess my feet are too big for you.
Why, Lieutenant Perkins, you're trying to seduce me, I think. That was a weird line. So it's about 5 years later. I had to wait for that to get brought up in the dialogue to confirm it. That's long enough for the babies to grow into their adult years, and Perkins wants Steven to accompany them on an expedition to check on the babies. Seriously, is he a cop that just handles baby cases? Haven't there been enough of them caught or killed by this point for you to study them without going to an island? Whatever. It's called Island of the Alive. We have to get them to an island somehow. Michael Moriarty makes it work. Here's what happens when he tests to see if the trank gun they gave him really is a trank gun.
This just puts him to sleep?
That's right.
You sure of that?
Absolutely.
See you in the morning.
Now drag his sleeping body onto the boat. This is gonna be the most hilarious trip we've taken together. See, they're doing some pranks on their own.
Because of you, I'm going down the cabin and short sheet Dr. Brewster.
Why not? If he doesn't short sheet the bed, the babies will, as we learned from the second. This has got B-movie blood in its veins, like an old movie where there's something deadly on the island that the characters are going to. And I think they're all properly shit-faced, hence the extended musical number. And how many people have tried walking under the water to the island? That doesn't seem safe at all. Plus, what happened to Steven in the past 5 years, who now seems like a completely different character, like he's out of a teen sex movie?
You know, you're very beautiful. Maybe it's the environment, but you turn me on. And I could turn you on, too. You've seen my kid, haven't you?
Now is not the time to recite your unused jokes from the party. Plus, if this is how he is around strangers, Steven's acting career was about to go away anyway. Why did they bring him along? So he could bully the nerdy guy like he's in high school? Is Cohen also doing a sequel to his Full Moon High? It's okay, as long as they walk in the same tracks led by the previous crew from Congo, they shouldn't get lost. Hello, they're eating scuba divers. Gentlemen, maybe we shouldn't be here. Didn't we put the babies on the island to forget about them? Just saying, after most of us are killed, it's best we just nuke this place. Look at them, they're huge now, but with a smaller lifespan, this problem would probably take care of itself in a few years. And I think the Predator is on the island too. This is like Cannibal Ferox if they wandered into a village of toxic Avengers. But far too many people are dying. No, with the hot scientist gone, Steven is gonna have to flirt with Perkins instead. Where's Lloyd's explosives when you need them? Just blow up the boat like you did to the helicopter. Though I don't know why Perkins thought that the boat was a worse option than swimming back to the island full of mutants. Just kick the man-babies over the edge. But maybe he didn't stick around because he knew Michael's patented scene stealing will completely take over.
Sing it, speed, body boat, like a bird on the wing, onward the sail.
I think he has it in his contract that he always has a scene like this. And Perkins is trying to have some good lines too.
Don't leave me! My doctor said, no, son!
You'll be fine. You got plenty of dead crew members to eat. Don't know how he can tell, but Steven thinks he's found his son. I appreciate that the movie is now turning into a play about a man stuck on his boat with mutants, and he has to handle all of the dialogue.
I'd like to take you to Cuba. See what Castro do with you.
Hold your thought, that might come into play later. I guess the boy wants to track down Ellen because he wants revenge on his mother, or they're gonna grab a camera and do their own version of Fulci's boat scenes from Zombie. Plus there's a captain's log now.
They want me to run the boat. They think that if I'm a human being, I should know how to run a boat. I've got the manuals and the maps, but I don't understand the engines or how to keep on course.
Just like Master and Commander, if Russell Crowe commandeered a ship of sloths. Oh, what are you doing? What if they find his diary? Then they'll know all the mean jokes he told about them. They needed to make Old Man in the Sea somehow, even if it meant lifting the shark footage directly from Old Man in the Sea. We don't have the budget to show him getting rescued, though, so he's fine.
Well, where am I?
You are the guest of Premier Fidel Castro.
See, told you, Island of the Alive is the most unpredictable of these films. What opened with a court case about what to do with mutant babies has turned into, we're taking you to see Castro. And I certainly didn't think we were gonna cut back to the carnival. We paid to shoot at this carnival, so the mutants are gonna roll up on some young people straight out of a Cannon film. Let's take another break in the hopes that Karen Black finally gets the letters from her ex-husband held by Castro. I love this movie.
Be quiet. Be very, very quiet.
We're back just in time for new characters.
Tony, I thought I told you to leave me alone.
I thought you got over that. Come on, I'll be nice. Wait a minute.
Who the hell are you, guy who is definitely gonna die in the movie? He clearly picked up his seduction moves from Steven.
I'm in this bookstore the other day. Way in the back where they keep the porn.
I was in there looking for the novelization of It's Alive 3, I swear! Anyway, it's nice of the Cubans to give Steven a lift back to the States. This movie didn't need the detour of Steven briefly stuck in Cuba and getting help from Castro, but it's so damn random that I'm glad it did. Unlike part 2, this one's random in a fun way, so we can hear these accents.
We're lucky we heard that report on the radio about the fishing boats and the bodies.
You're from Long Island, cut that shit out. Let's see, rude young people making out on a beach, street gangs, yep, the monsters will definitely be around here somewhere. Though a scream will make them get the hell out of Dodge, apparently. And seriously, what is going on here? Why is it turning into RoboCop? No need to ask questions? Hell, if I was flipping channels on TV, I probably would think this is a Toxic Avenger movie. Like when one of them saves the girl under the pier. The mutants are doing far better police work than the cops in the other movies, speaking of which. I don't know why, but the trigger-happy police are like my favorite trademark of these. Steven finds his wife's address so he can rescue her from this obviously terrible date, where the guy is blackmailing her into sleeping with him, otherwise he'll give Steven's book to her friends. Like I said, the second one was random too. It just flows better here and isn't as hastily edited. The characters are better too, and the deaths are funnier.
Look what you did to my car. I love my car!
Wow, we've cut crime down in this city in a matter of minutes. The baby men are the heroes we need and deserve. One thing's for sure about them as adults, they are stronger. He just has a bunch of Mother's Day cards he's saved over the years and he wants to give them to her. Larry gets in his love for monster movies too between this and Q the Winged Serpent. Here it's Cohen doing his own King Kong. If Kong took the woman atop his favorite seedy motel in Florida and had a fist fight. But he still assures her the babies just want us to love them. Why does everyone keep saying that? You're just telling yourselves that because it was a mistake to go to the island. Oh, and the mutants wanted to come here because they're dying.
They came all the way here to give it to you. They want you to save me. Well, I don't know why.
You're just trying to get her to take custody of the mutants, aren't you? I can smell another court battle. Oh, and they're grandparents now. It's okay that I'm watching this with my own son. I simply told him that this is Mac and me. Both have a high possibility of ending with explosions and driving away happily in a car. Also, it'll end just like you think. Once again, the police surrounding them and opening fire, and just as successful as ever. I don't care what anyone says, It's Alive 3 is the most entertaining of these films. It's the performances that sell it, like the first, and it's nuts in a way that's a lot more planned than the second. The second was like a quickly assembled obligation sequel. This one, Larry had some real time to write out his insanity, complete with a crazy-ass ending of the happy couple reunited and driving away with their new grandson. I guess they all lived happily ever after? Who knows? It's the end of the trilogy. But yes, we'll also be looking at the 2009 remake. Hell, the looniest arc in the series is that Perkins was in all 3 films, and his conclusion was he was left on the island, and the movie never mentions or cuts back to him again. Maybe Chris is on the island too. That does it for this entry. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, and we're also on Threads as well, plus Blue Sky, all under the Cinema Snob, where you can get links to current episodes, and maybe I'll put up my own mutant baby pictures or something.
I love the way you touch that dart.